This program is about evacuating people from a high-rise building or other buildings during a fire emergency. The program was produced in the Boston area using the Boston area fire codes, standards, and procedures. In your area, there may be different procedures according to local standards and building design. The general concepts, however, as presented in the program's simulated events, apply for all high-rise buildings everywhere.
I'm Harold Russell, Chairman of the President's Committee on Employment of the Handicapped. Every once in a while in the nightly news, you see a story about a fire in a tall building. Sometimes it's a hotel building, an apartment building, or even an office building like the one you work in. And they're terrifying scenes. People at the windows, waving their arms, calling for help. Firefighters and helicopters trying to rescue people from top floors. Flames shooting out. Down below, firefighters carrying the victims out. Most of the time, we watch these news stories, think about them a little, and go on with our work. We think to ourselves, my building has a fire plan. It can't happen to me. The building I work in is all concrete, steel, and glass. The victims in these news stories probably thought the same way. In a modern building, there's plenty of paper, furniture, plastic that can burn and burn quickly. Whether your building is 2 stories or 50 stories high, if a fire does happen, what would you do?
This can happen. A short circuit in a stockroom on the 20th floor. Papers and other materials started burning immediately. The fire floor and the 2 floors above had to be cleared. On the fire floor, there's a situation nobody thought about preparing for.
Jack, we can't use the elevator. Can we take him down?
I guess we'll have to, but I've never done it before, Jack. How about you?
Oh, Henry, did you see Mary leave? I didn't see her.
No, I didn't see her when I searched the floor. Bill, you stay with Jack.
It's not just Jack, who uses a wheelchair, who has a problem. People almost forgot about Mary, who is hearing impaired.
I'll go look after Jack.
The building is equipped with flashing light fire alarms. If she had been in another area, Mary would have seen the alarm. But in her office, Mary wasn't aware of the danger.
What's up, Mary? You gonna be okay with Jack?
Okay, folks, move down the stairs, please. We have it. Move down the stairs, please. You 2 men, move this gentleman down the stairs. Keep moving. Search the 3rd floor. Search the 3rd floor, please.
Up front of the legs and on into the arms. Rock them to work. I'm good.
There are over 36 million Americans who have some kind of disability. Like all of us, these individuals want to work and be independent. Many of them work in high-rise buildings. Federal, state, and city governments have enacted laws which provide equal opportunity and access for those individuals with impairments. And progress has been made in making buildings more accessible and functional. But while architects and legislators have seen to it that everyone can get into a building, we still face problems when it comes to getting a lot of people out of a building quickly. And that's a problem for everyone.
You might think of an impairment as referring only to people with hearing, visual, or physical disabilities. But in a fire emergency, if you twist your ankle badly, how easily are you going to get down the stairs? What if you've recently had an accident and are on crutches? What if you're a pregnant woman in her 7th or 8th month? The smoke can be thick. It can burn your lungs. The power can go off, and you'll be in darkness. Who's going to help you while you're waiting for the fire department?
I've worked in this building for 10 years. 10 years! And we never once had a fire, not even from someone's cigarette burning on paper on a desktop. And then, there we were. The stockroom was on fire, and we didn't know how to help Jack get out. Jack's in a wheelchair, and you can't use the elevators in a fire, so how could he get down the stairs? You know, once in a while in the past, we'd have fire drills. But you know, a lot of people just ignore the drills. And even in the drills, we weren't taught how to help people who couldn't use the stairs or who were perhaps disoriented. Well, after the fire, I really wanted to learn what to do.
Rita talked with her co-workers, Henry and Jack. Henry was the floor's fire warden, which meant that in the event of a fire, he was responsible for making sure everyone got out. The three of them met with the building's fire marshal.
So tell me, do we have an evacuation plan for people who are disabled?
Rita, I'll have to be honest with you. It's tough enough to have a plan for a building with 2,000 people in it who aren't disabled.
So we don't have any specific plans or equipment?
Henry, it's something we have been studying. I think the way to go is to visit with someone who represents the local fire department and have them review our evacuation plan.
A major step in putting together a more comprehensive evacuation plan is planning.
I am Chief Cook of the Fire Department. We're meeting here this morning in regards to evacuation of people in time of emergencies. And there are some good things that you can do. Keep in mind now that especially when dealing with people who are mobility impaired during a crisis, your main responsibility is to be safe. The fire department will know what to do. But there are some things that you can do before they arrive. You can't do everything, but what you have to do is to put together a buddy system.
The buddy system? You mean like the Boy Scouts?
Something like that. As you know, their motto is be prepared, and that's what we want to do, is to be prepared. Henry, as a fire warden in this floor, what you should do is ask people to be buddies.
What being a buddy means is that you're prepared. So for Jack, we got two men who volunteered to be buddies. Now when a fire alarm sounds, those two people make sure that Jack can reach the stairs. Then either with a straight-back chair or a specially designed evacuation chair, the two buddies can carry Jack down one flight of stairs. Now one flight of stairs is enough for him to reach safety until the firefighters arrive. And that's something we had to practice under supervision and proper guidance from Jack. I mean, you just can't carry someone who might weigh close to 200 pounds if you've never done it before. Aside from people who are physically disabled, we also got volunteers or buddies who would help people with visual, hearing, mental, or emotional impairments. Now, if there's a fire, the buddies assist these individuals to the primary or alternate escape stairs if they need the help. We first asked people how they wanted to be assisted and what we could do. Now, if there's an emergency and I look like I'm freezing up, all my buddy has to do is to speak calmly to me and motion for me to follow. They should say, "There is a fire, follow me," and I'll understand.
And finally, make sure each buddy has an alternate chosen, a stand-in, so that if on a particular day there is an emergency and someone's buddy is sick or not present, another person can stand in as the buddy.
So we found volunteer buddies and alternates. We practiced carrying people in wheelchairs down the stairs with their consent and their guidance. We think we can practice it again, maybe once a year. You know, I think of that fire we had, and I think that, well, I know it wasn't a serious fire, yet what if it had gotten out of control too fast? Well, we learned from that experience, and at least now I feel that we're all a little bit more prepared. We have an idea of what to do. We've even purchased a few special chairs that make it easier to help someone down a stairway. We've practiced with them, and it's even possible for a single person to assist someone who is injured or disabled down the stairs. You know what, I like that, because that might just as easily be me in that chair. I could just as easily need a buddy as anybody else.
Now we've shown you how one group of people who felt deeply enough about their own safety and the safety of other co-workers with disabilities expressed their concerns and did something. It may seem too easy, The buddy system is just common sense. When something happens, we'll make sure that Jack and Mary and anybody else who needs our help is okay. We'll know what to do. But how do you know what you'll do in a fire? Firefighters spend a long time learning how to react in a crisis. Please, think about preparation. Think about the buddy system, not just for the sake of your co-workers and friends, but for everyone, for yourself, because you might need a buddy too.
Talk about it, plan it, practice it. I know that everybody needs a buddy sometime.